Hey guys, this is Paul with the Empower Living Community. The reason for this video is I want to invite you to have an inside look at kind of the way I think this Saturday for our sales training. This is the final piece. You see, one of the things that I get asked often about is, how did I go from a high school dropout to building multi-million-dollar companies? How did I get John Maxwell, as an example, to partner with me? How was I able to work with Wayne Dyer? How did I get Les Brown to partner with me on speaker training? How did I do those things? I took to heart something that I learned in this book, okay? So Napoleon Hill's studying the lives of, the most successful people, 500 of certainly the most successful: Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, Alexander Graham Bell, right? The Wright brothers, 4 U.S. presidents. And he says something really powerful here. He says that it wasn't that they had an abundance of generalized or specialized knowledge that led them to success and achievement. In other words, if you look at somebody who's highly successful, they don't know something that others don't know. They don't have some kind of inside information that others don't have. But what it is that they think differently. See, it's not what they think, it's how they think. That's what led Ford and Rockefeller and Schwab and Carnegie and Edison to create what it is that they created. They had access to the same markets, they had access to the same suppliers, the same resources, everything. But they thought differently. And because they thought differently, they saw differently. Where other people saw obstacles, they saw opportunities. And so I'm going to share with you a process that I use when I think. Now, I've already kind of hinted to this during the course of the program. And what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you go back to the very first video before I send it out, I asked you to answer 3 questions. One is, what is your value? Why should somebody buy from you? I have no doubt that whatever it is that you sell, there's a need for what you have. No doubt about it. But why should somebody buy from you? What's unique and special? What value do you bring to the table? Next, second question is, what does your client value? What's important to them? And last, what's the value of the transformation with you? What's really gonna be different if they do business with you than if they do business with anybody else? What's that transformation gonna be unique? How's that going to be unique? How's it going to be different? How's it going to have added value that they purchased and bought from you? See, I'm going to teach you how to think even before the sale. It's kind of like one of the things I learned in real estate, right? Is you don't make money in real estate when you sell real estate. It's very much like the stock market. You don't make money when you sell stocks. The true pros in real estate and stock trading make money when they buy the property. In other words, a successful real estate investor doesn't buy a property and hope that it's going to increase in value to one day they can sell. They're actually making money the minute they bought the property. It's already revenue positive for them. Otherwise, they don't buy it. So they're not buying it thinking that if I dump in a bunch of money, and then if I find the right buyer, or if I find the right renter, or if I find the right leaser, or if I can sit on it long enough and the neighborhood comes back, then maybe this property will be valuable and then I can sell it for profit. No. Way too much risk. It's same with this with the stock. I mean, you buy stock based on a future price, which means that you've got to be thinking into the future, and you should be buying that stock today when you already know that it's going to be profitable. So I'm going to help you think about your business, your offer. what it is that you sell to the marketplace. And I'm going to have you think differently. I'm going to teach you how to think differently on this call. It is an important part of sales. Remember, sales at its highest level is the transference of emotion. The primary emotion is certainty. The prospect can only get certainty from one place, and that's you. And your thinking is what will fortify your certainty. Join me in this last session for this sales training. I also want to say that tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 7:30, I'll be doing a Zoom Q&A and an opportunity for anybody who wants to join. If you would like to practice the tonalities that we went over last week, jump on the call and give it a go. Practice. We'll have fun. I want to invite you. Really lean into this. Really lean into this. You'll get so much. I can promise you, if you'll invest just a little bit of time in just mastering this one skill of sales, it will pay dividends to you for the rest of your life. It will pay dividends to you for the rest of your life. I've often said that you can take me and place me anywhere in the free world, right? Anywhere in the free world with just enough money to be able to live for one day, just enough to be able to have, a place to sleep and a meal when I land. Come back to me a year later, and I would have accumulated $1 million of that country's currency, guaranteed. And I'm so 100%, you can put me anywhere. As a matter of fact, anywhere I've been to Romania, I've made $1 million in Romanian lei. I've been all through Europe. I've done $1 million in Belgium. I've done $1 million in France. I've been in South America, and I've done $1 million in every country I've been in. In Costa Rica, I've made $1 million. In Guatemala, I've made $1 million. I don't say that to brag. What's allowed me to do that is my skill to communicate my value and my skill to identify what other people value, and then my skill to think about my value and what they value and to create a solution and then offer it. That's called sales. So I'm certain that you can put me anywhere in the world. Come back a year later and I will have accumulated $1 million worth of that country's currency, guaranteed, because of this one skill set, the ability to sell. It will pay dividends to you for the rest of your life. I hope you'll join me. Be well.